Hi, I'm Dark Steel, and this is another installment of Prepper Friday. I'd like to add in a little disclaimer on these Prepper Friday videos. I am not an expert in any sense of the word. I am a YouTuber making prepper-based vlog-style videos about essentially my opinion. If you look for my credentials, you're not going to find anything because I am not an expert. I am not somebody who knows a whole great deal about anything. I am just sharing my common sense ideas, what I've heard, theories that I might have come across, and my opinions on them. I don't want any of this to be taken as this is somebody who absolutely knows something and we should just follow him to a T. No, I want you to express your own opinions, share with me, let me grow, help me help you. We could grow as a community, but I don't want anybody to think that I even think that what my opinions are, what I know is the limit of what we can achieve, of what there is to know. I want to expand, and we expand our knowledge, we expand our intellectual prowess when we start conversations, when we share with each other. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to share my opinions of the world as I see it. Okay, so today's subject, I'm going to try and make this video short and sweet just because I just kind of want to move on with it. So today's subject is living by your prepper plan and what this means. So my group has plans to go solar and become less grid dependent, and one of the first steps that we've done to start this is, and this might seem like an odd step, but it's a kind of important one to us. Whenever you go solar, whenever you go you start your own energy grid, you got to keep an eye on kilowatt hours. You've got to only use the electricity that you need, and so we kind of established what is need on electricity, and we're still living with luxuries. We're not abandoning anything like that, but we have started using lights as what they are, which is a lavish luxury. Right now I've got lights on in here because I'm recording a YouTube video, which is another luxury. I'm going to use this until I'm done in here, and then I'm going to shut these lights off. We have only been lighting our living areas that we're using at the time, and we've throughout the nights we've been using an oil lamp and then blowing it out before we go to bed, and only making enough light so that we can see what we're doing and everything like that. And that might sound miserable, but it's actually been pretty great. And it should cut down on our energy costs, but also it should teach us how to live without so much electricity usage. So when we go solar, we won't have the same need, the same habits that will use up all of our energy that we have stored. I personally am also taking steps to remove so much energy dependence in my blacksmith shop. Soon I'm going to be doing a project in which I build a large bellows so that I can stop using an electric blower, and I'm going to be I've been working a little bit on my skills so that I'm a little bit less dependent on the angle grinder and the welder and things like that. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can about that and shift my blacksmith shop into a more classical blacksmithing, so that I am not reliant on the electricity to be able to run what I do every day. I've also studied up on my ability to make a fire quickly and effectively without using things like matches, lighters, torches, working on different skills, different ways of making fire, and I've actually been using those methods to get used to using them to warm my house and things like that. So I have that skill set, but it's also well practiced and ingrained in me so that I'm not struggling and struggling and struggling. Because if you are somebody who's not used to making a fire and you think that, oh, that's just a simple, easy skill, you might want to look into it, because building a large, substantial fire to keep your house warm that kind of sustains itself and everything, there's a little bit more to it than just lighting a match and throwing it at a log. It takes a little bit of time and practice to learn to build fires, and I know that a lot of people know this, but for those of you who are not familiar with fire building, who do just think that it's just as simple as light some paper or cardboard, put it under a log, and watch it go, think again. And if you're relying on fuels like gasoline and starter fluid and stuff, again, the time is running out where you are going to be able to access those. So learning to build a fire in a more classical sense is a skill that you should really work on. And sure, while making this shift, go ahead and use all of the luxuries that we have while we have them. Don't let that go to waste. Last week's video, I said, go online and utilize the almost endless information of the internet. And I still plan on doing that myself. But I think that a lot of psychological problems were kind of created by a luxurious lifestyle that kind of makes us feel less useful. And I have found in my own life that the more I have to work to get through the day, the more I detach myself from this modern technological digital era, and the more I step back and just do a solid day's work away from computers, away from cell phones, away from apps, the more fulfilled I feel, and the less anxiety I have, the less stress or anything like that. You just learn to live for living. And it's very calming and relaxing. And so there's a great beauty behind working for yourself instead of letting, Google work for you. If you think that you're going to figure out agriculture in a trial by fire situation, then I think you're going to be surprised. We've spent years not only researching our farmland and how to run it the best we can, researching how to grow certain things and everything like that, but also experimenting, and through trial and error have finally gotten to where we're pretty sure within this next grow season we're going to be able to sustain ourselves. But that doesn't even touch trade. So if you think, oh, I'll just put some seeds packets aside and go out to a place and start growing my own food, it's a lot more complicated than that. It's going to be a very challenging thing for you to take care of yourself if you're not putting the time into your education now. So another reason why I think it's important to start your prepper plan now, why I think it's important to start living like you plan on living now, is kind of centered around large cities. If society breaks down, I'm just going to read what I've got because I like the way I worded this. If society breaks down, then large, densely populated cities will become mass graveyards as disease, starvation, rioting, and overall insustainability of a tech-based infrastructure take hold of the population therein. Leaving the city in a panic will be a challenge that is likely to get you trampled or robbed. If you have the means to already live in a bug-in location in a more rural setting and establish a lifestyle to which you will need to become accustomed, in my opinion, that is your best plan. I'd go ahead and get started on it right away. If you don't have the means, I'd start looking into what your bug out plan is, start looking into how to best go about it, and see if there is a situation in which you can start helping. Maybe you know somebody who has that situation already that is trying to build their prepper community, and maybe you can offer them financial support. Maybe you can go in and put in some time, help them build it. Because if you help them build it, they'll be more likely to take you in and share what they've got, because they'll consider it partly yours. But if you're waiting until last minute to go knock on their door, that's not going to work out so well for you, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that they're going to have to turn down. So don't be one of them. So if you don't have your own way to establish that lifestyle, find somebody who does. Get in with them, and don't get in with them by brown-nosing. Get in with them by helping build it. Help them create the place that you plan on spending your post-SHTF life. I've said this from the beginning, and I will say it again. I personally, in my opinion, believe that it is time to activate your prepper plan to get yourself to safety. Prepping is about being ahead of disaster, is about getting out ahead of whatever may come. So waiting until it happens is not a good plan, and in my opinion, it already has happened, but it's happening gradually. But getting out ahead of it is your best plan, so go ahead and activate it. And what is the harm of finding your own personal safety now? Like I said, I'm going to try and make this video short and sweet, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my prepper tip of the week right here, right now. And I'm going to read it off of the little thing, so I hope you don't mind. Set aside as much money as you can spare to pour into illiquid assets that can be readily converted into cash, but maintain their value if cash is just less comfortable toilet paper. Also, I recommend abandoning any theoretical currency. If you can't hold it in your hands, it's not real and is subject to crash when all else fails. So, again, not an expert. These are just what I kind of think to be true. But if it were me, and for me, cash money, great in a sense. You should have some for right now. But if you just hoard a bunch of cash money that's not going to be worth anything later, then that's a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted effort. But if you can find something like gold or jewelry or something that will maintain a certain level of value in the aftermath of like a market crash or anything like that, that might be a good way to invest. Hoard back, don't tell anybody you have it, don't tell anybody where it's hidden, and do hide it. But it'll maintain trade value and still be worth something in the end, hopefully. So that's everything I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please come back next Friday for another Prepper Rant, and check out both of my channels in the meantime, where I'm going to be posting videos pretty much constantly, if I can. Dark Steel Knives is where I do a lot of my actual physical projects, and this channel I've got a lot of skits and a lot of other rants and stuff that I'm coming out with, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, give this video a like if you liked it, and tell me what you think in the comments below, and let's, as always, continue the conversation down below. And as always, hope for the best, plan for the worst.